Friends, there are a lot of queries that I receive, and one common query is how to write a good resume. Now, a resume is your entry ticket to any interview of your dream job for aspired company. Now, that entry ticket, yes, has to be a piece of perfection. It's not a place that has room for error or place for silly grammar mistakes, spelling mistakes, or missing out on key details that matter for the job that you're applying to. Just like you can't have a single entry ticket to any movie of your choice, a CV has to be customized to the role you're applying for. A CV has to be a very crisp document, one pager ideally if you are less than 8 years of experience, maybe a 2-pager, but once again very crisp and tailor-made to the job you're applying for. I will give you a checklist that will quickly run you through some tips, some things that you can incorporate and have a winning CV. So firstly, let me start with the checklist. What should a CV have? It should start with a very nicely written short career statement. What is it that you bring to the table and what is it that you're looking forward to? It should then, in chronological order, quickly list down the companies you worked for. These are very simple things the recruiter should not have to hunt for in your resume scattered over a few pages. After that, you can talk about what have you delivered against each role. We are looking for clear deliverables that you have accomplished, you've delivered. Then have a small crisp table about your academic qualifications and then maybe 1 or 2 extracurricular if you feel they would be insightful or meaningful for the role that you've applied for. You may include 1 or 2 personal details, again depending on relevance. Let me first talk about the simple career statement that should be the first thing on the resume. You see 2 examples over here. One of an experienced professional that talks about what he has accomplished so far in his career and what he brings to the table. It says, over 10 years of experience as a brand manager, I have successfully managed mature brands and launched a new brand, and it talks of the results that have been delivered. The second one is of a young candidate. While pursuing my MBA, I have done various live projects in digital marketing and as a sales intern with large companies. I look forward to starting my career in e-commerce and develop to a brand manager for direct-to-consumer products. Now, what has the career statement done? It has very clearly listed out what your passion is and what is it that you bring to the table, and along with that, it has told the recruiter, well, this is where I want to land. So it will help the recruiter screen if you are the right candidate for them or not. Moving on, you could also have a few bullet points or a mini table that talks about your key skills. If you are very senior in your career, this section helps. It shows what are the key skills that you've developed over the last 5 or 10 years or maybe 15 years. This area could include technical skills if you're very early on in your field. For example, if you are a chartered accountant or let's say a designer, someone in the creative field, it could list down the additional qualifications you pursued while doing your core qualification. It could be on analytics or graphics or whatever is relevant for your field. Now, what you see flashing on the screen is just a small template of how simply you should list down the companies you worked for. When I'm running through the resumes, I really want to quickly see, okay, so what is it this person has experienced? Where has he worked for? Below the chronological summary of your work experience, you could define 1 or 2 key roles that you have done under each company, and in that clearly give a 1 line describing your role and at least 1 or 2 key achievements that you've had in that role. Do not make it very long. Keep it crisp that says, this is what I accomplished as my role of a financial analyst. I led cost savings projects, or as a manager of a BPO, my service levels were 97% or 98%. Be very, very brief. We do not want large paragraphs. Most CVs only get a glance for say 30 seconds to 60 seconds max. Keep that acid test in mind. What you see now is how you should put your education summary. Again, very brief. If you've been a rank holder, make place and insert those ranks. If not, you can skip that column. Now friends, on a lighter note, I do want to say a few things that you should never do on your resume. Do not use your designing skills on your resume. Keep it very simple and professional. It's not a place where you use too many colors, maybe a little bit of gray highlights, maybe some bold, maybe a little bit of italics and underline. Keep it as easy and simple to read without too many distractions. Do not have any grammar and spelling mistakes. Do not use the company logos. That is not allowed. Nobody has a right to use a logo without permission. So simply write the name of the companies you worked for. Avoid adding titles like CA, LLB, and so on to your names. Just keep your name as you like to be referred to. What I flashed over here for you is how a one-page CV would look like. Again, I'm repeating the rule of thumb. If less than 10 years, try to keep your CV to a one-pager, maybe 8 years. And if more than that, and you really have been through several companies, several roles, then maybe 2, but nothing more than 2. So really you have to pick and choose. And keep in mind the role that you're applying for. The CV you used to apply for another company or role might not be as relevant if you're applying for a slightly different role or a different culture or organization. So customize it, spend enough time on this entry ticket. Do not be in a rush just to get your CV out. Take a couple of hours extra or a day extra and get the CV in place. Final check before you dish out your CV to anyone. Do a spell check, do a grammar check, and if you have some friends around or people you're comfortable with, ask them what is it that they're able to take away by giving your CV a 30-second or 60-second glance. That's all it will get in most organizations which are flooded with CVs. All the best, guys. If you need any additional help in making your CV, feel free to write to richa.corporatediaries@gmail.com. Happy to answer any further questions in the comment box. Look forward to hearing from you, and the very best for designing of your entry ticket.